Hey everybody, it's Zach. So today I want to go over how to schedule showings. You're going to have to do this a lot as a real estate agent. And first, to get started, I want to go over three cardinal rules that I've learned throughout the years of showing different properties. Three rules you should always follow. Number one, never show up to a house without a confirmed appointment from the listing agent. I've had so many agents that maybe they schedule a showing, they've scheduled it, but it's never been confirmed and they still show up anyways. You always need confirmation before you show up to a house. This is somebody else's house, don't just show up. That's rule number one. Number two, always communicate. If you're running late, call the listing agent and ask that it's okay that you still show up to the house. So that means if you schedule a time block to see a home from 12 to 12:30, don't show up with your clients at 12:29. Always communicate if you're running late. And number three, try to give at least 24 hours notice. I've had so many agents that have had a listing, it's occupied by the homeowners, and the agent said, "Hey, we're driving through the neighborhood. Can we see the home in 2 minutes?" And the homeowners have pets, they have kids, they got to clean up. So try to give at least 24 hours. If you live by those three rules, you're going to do pretty well with the showings. So, number one, never show up without a confirmed appointment. Two, always communicate. Don't show up at 12:29 if your appointment ends at 12:30. And three, try to give at least 24 hours notice. And then you will be a rock star showing agent. So, other notes before we jump into starting to schedule homes, things to note. Real estate agents have 48 hours to change a home from active to pending if they've accepted a contract, if the homeowners have accepted a contract. So just because you see a home is listed as active in Realtracs doesn't actually mean it is active. So what you should do before you schedule any house is call that listing agent, actually speak to them or through text message and ask them and say, "Hey, this is Zach with Zach Taylor Real Estate. I see your house on 123 Main Street. I just want to call and ask, is that still active? Do you have any offers on the table? Have they accepted anything?" And then just see what they say. If they say still active, no offers, no written offers, then you know, okay, it's worth your time to go see it. Also, while you're calling that listing agent to ask if it's still available, ask them about major items on the home. So ask, "Hey, how old's the roof? How old's the AC? How old's windows?" So ask for major stuff and try to pick up different points and positive things about that home and take notes about it. So that way you can share it with your clients. So you're going above and beyond what's just listed on the MLS or on Zillow. You're actually asking for more details. Um, the next thing I wanted to point out is lock boxes. So you'll have to become very familiar with different types of lock boxes. The easiest one that you'll deal with is called a combination lockbox. It's just like this. And you'll have to get a combo code from the listing agent. And you spin the dials, and then you pull this down when you have the code and it opens. The other type of lockbox is for realtors only. And that in this area is called a Sentry lock. So this is an example of what a Sentry lock box looks like. For this, you can do one of two things. One is you can call your local association, so MTAR, Nashville, Williamson County, call your local association and make sure you sign up for Sentry Lock Access. And they have an app. I think it costs $120 for the entire year. It's unlimited showings, but you get access to these lock boxes as a realtor. The other thing you can do, maybe you're brand new, you're showing a home for the first time, or you don't show homes that often and you don't want to pay $120. What you can do is call the listing agent and they can issue you what's called a day code, a single use day code. So they can do that. That way you can save the money. Sometimes they get a little finicky about that, but they do have that option, and just know that. Let's see what else here. Most showings, through my experience, they last anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes. That's how long the typical showing lasts. So what I always tell agents is knowing that, and you can always judge it based on your clients. And after the first couple of homes, you're going to know how long they take. Some people are really quick. They see homes in 10 minutes or less and they're good to go. Other people take closer to an hour. So you can judge your showing times and how long you request a showing block for based on your clients. But typically plan 30 to 45 minutes. And with that being said, don't schedule showing blocks for 2 to 3 hour appointments, especially if the home is occupied. You would hate to have a homeowner out of their home. Let's say they pack up the pets, they pack up the kids, they're parked around the block, and they have to sit there for 2 to 3 hours, and you might only be there for 30 minutes. So only schedule showing blocks for the time that you actually need. Another nice thing that I do as a buyer's agent when I'm showing homes is once I'm done at that home, I'll actually text the listing agent and say, hey, we're done at the home. Thank you so much for your time. That way, in case the homeowners are waiting around the corner in the car, that listing agent knows and they can contact their client and say, hey, it's okay to go back. Let's see what else. 2 more tips that I would say before we start scheduling homes is one, what I've learned is schedule the farthest home away from you and your clients. Schedule the home that's farthest away first, and then work closer back to home. Because that way you're going to be showing a lot of different homes. It's going to be a long day. So I would rather end closer to my home. So that way it's a 10, 15-minute drive home versus the last showing is an hour away. It's the whole day of showings, and now I have to drive an hour home. So schedule the farthest home, the home that's farthest away first. Last thing, I am not your CPA or tax accountant, but you guys are small business owners. So if you take a standard mileage deduction on your taxes, you should be recording all your mileage for these showings. The standard mileage deduction currently is 56 cents per mile. So let's say you drive Nashville to Brentwood to Murfreesboro to Franklin, you're driving all over the place. Well, if you drive 100 miles, that's $56 you can write off your taxes. So keep track of your mileage, write a log, and record every home that you see in that log. So that way, if anything ever came back, if you're ever audited, you have an exact transcript of what you used that mileage for. So that's a little way to help you save some money on your taxes. All right, so let's get into showings. So Taylor has sent me a list of 5 random homes. I don't know where these homes are. I don't know the status of them. So she has said, our home office is based out of Eagleville and our client is in Franklin. So that's what she said. And she sent me a list of these homes and I copied them to my notepad. So here's our homes. So for in this instance, instead of Taylor sending me random homes, this is your client saying, hey, these are the homes that I want to see on Sunday. And we're going to pretend that it is a Friday and we're scheduling these homes for Sunday. So we're trying to give 48 hours heads up. So what I will do, let me put away these lock boxes. What I'm going to do is pull out a notepad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use pages to write down exactly what I'm writing on my notepad. But I always pull out a notepad and I list out the homes that my buyer wants to see. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to map all the homes. And I'm going to map them so that way I kind of get a lay of the land and see where they're at. So let's go ahead and do that. Copy this one. Directions. I'm going to choose my starting point. Okay, so there's one home. And in this situation, again, we're saying our client lives in Franklin. So we're going to meet them at the first home. Sticky. And I'm just going to add all of these as destinations. And then we're going to say for this example as well, our buyer client wants to see the homes after noon on Sunday. Anytime doesn't matter after noon, but it has to be after that. So we'll keep that in mind for our notes. And typically I would say in any given day, you probably shouldn't show more than probably 5 to 6 homes. If you're going more than that, it's just too long of a day. All the homes start to run into each other. You can't really remember which is which. And it's a very long day. So I would always say plan for probably 5 to 6 homes at the max. 3 to 4 is usually best, and that's a little bit shorter of a day. Or maybe if you have homes in different areas, you could schedule one area for Saturday and another area for Sunday. Just things to think about. Okay, so we have all our homes mapped. So now I'm gonna look, here's where we're coming from our home office. And it looks like we have a home here, 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 here. These two are close together, one here and up here. So this is the furthest one away. So this is, which one is this? 100, do I have a 1003? Here we go. I think it's this one. So if we go on that one first, and then I probably want to go to these two next. And they're right next to each other. So I'm going to go 526 next. Actually, I'll go 102 next. 102 next, then 526. And then I'm going to go to Pinehurst after that. Pinehurst, and then 455 red. There we go. There we go. And then I will. So I know I'm coming from here and driving up here first, and they're coming from Franklin, driving up here. They'll end here, so they're right there instead of all the way from up here. And then I end and I can come right here. So like I said, schedule the furthest one first, because if I have to go reverse all the way up here and then I have to drive all the way back. So just keep that in mind. So now let's delete. Okay, so here's our showings. So I deleted us as the starting point because we're going to meet here. So that this is kind of our new starting point. So here, and see how it's just an even line. We're not zigzagging over here to zigzag over here to back. Like it makes sense. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up another Google Maps tab. And I'm going to go our home office first, writing home office. So first thing I see, this is the first one. First thing I got to know is how long does it take me to get to the first place? It takes me 48 minutes to get to the first place. All right. So now that we have our general list of how we want to show these homes, we're going to go over to the MLS and Realtracs and start scheduling these homes. So I'm going to log in. Search. And then I'm going to open up another tab. This is our second house. So I'm getting directions from the first showing to the second showing. So it's 12 minutes, so it's not bad. So what I was going to say is usually I'm going to schedule everything around my first showing. I really want to lock in that first showing, get confirmation of that, and then start scheduling the rest of my day. That way I kind of have that foundation and that starting point. Sometimes because like if you're over here for your first one and then you have to, that one doesn't actually go through and then you're over here, I always try to schedule my first one and schedule the rest of my day based on that first one and their availability. So let's see, 415 Harding Pike. No results. Maybe it's that space. 4215. And I know it's unit 1003. So here it is. All right, so we're going to copy this, go over to our notepad, paste, undo, edit, paste and match style. All right, so this is our first one, and we know our client said anything after noon works for them. So let's see what you can do on the MLS is usually you want to go to office and showing instructions, and it says agent must be present, call agent. And then let's see private remarks in case there's anything else that they say. Resort-like pool area, buyer wants to keep the same parking spot. There's a $2,000 transfer fee. This is a very pet-friendly building, including an area that is dog park. Agent required for all showings. Okay, so immediately what I'm thinking to myself, if my buyer wants to see this property, is one, I'm going to disclose to them that there is a $2,000 transfer fee for the parking spot. So I'm going to write that down on my notes. If I did it, edit, paste and match style. Boom. And then I noticed too that it says this is a very pet friendly building. Well, what I'm going to want to ask the listing agent is what are the pet restrictions? If my client has a like pit bull or Rottweiler or something like that, maybe they aren't allowed in this community. So already I'm thinking to myself, when I call this listing agent to find out, one, does this home have an offer? Two, what are the pet restrictions? And then with a condo, I'm going to ask, are there any special assessments that I have to be aware of? Sometimes with condos, all the homeowners have to pitch in if they want to like do the roofs or they want to paint the building. So I'm going to ask in this situation, are there any special assessments? If I can spell it. Assessments. That is completely wrong. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna call them, and let's say we're gonna start at noon is my hypothetical. So I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna say, hey, do you mind if I show this property from 12 to 12:45? Do you mind meeting us there because it said agent must accompany? And on the first one too, what I'm doing is I'm going to build in a 10-minute buffer for my client. A lot of times when I meet clients at the first property, they're 10 minutes late. So that's why I'm requesting from 12 to 12:45. I'm anticipating they'll be there at 12:10, and it'll take about 30 minutes to walk through, check out the amenities in this building and stuff like that. So 12 to 12:45. And then let's see, let's look if it looks like it's occupied or vacant. And there's nothing in here. So this one is probably vacant. So that'll make showings a lot easier. And I'm gonna make a note of that. Usually I put a V or an O, but I'll just type it out. Okay, now let's go to our second house. So we know it's 12 minutes to our next house. So my notes, I'm guessing they'll get there at 12:10. There's a lot to see in this condo complex. There's probably a gym, probably clubhouse, maybe a pool. We got to see the unit. There's an elevator ride. There's parking. So I think this is going to take a full 30 minutes, 35 minutes. So it's going to take every minute. If they show up at 12:10, it's going to take till 12:45 to get there. So I'm going to say it's 12 minutes to next. Okay, 2. So now our second showing is at 102 Forest. So let's go 102 Forest. Okay, let's see, schedule showing. So in this situation, and Realtracs has created their own showing system. There's also a service called Showing Time. So when you click this, it's saying it's using a third party. So this is Showing Time. Click here. And then this is a go and show, instantly confirmed with appointment request. So usually that's for vacant homes. And whenever you request it, it's instantly going to approve it. And then it will send you showing instructions. Either it's combo lockbox, listing agent must accompany, something like that. So you would just hit here. And then you would pick a time on here. And you can see the black means they don't want any showings during these times that are blacked out. They only during this white section right here, they're allowing showings. And then you would click it. And then you would say how long you need this appointment for. So it starts at 1 and how much time do you need? And then you hit request appointment. Well, let's go back and look at our private remarks. Open house showings only, 1 to 4 p.m., 10:29, 10:30, 10:31, listing agent present, wash and dryer remain, central vac, never used, not warranted, 2 thermostats. Okay. HOA is $391 a month. So we're going to take this one. So this one, they're only allowing people through during an open house. Here. Just a match. So if we end this one at 12:45, 12 minutes to the next one, that's 12:57. And the earliest they can get us in is 1 to 4. So actually that's perfect. Traffic, whatever else, and usually they open the open house maybe a minute or two early. So that's actually perfect. 1 p.m. and we'll be there till 1:30, looking around. And then wash and dryer remain. Here. Gas water heater 2021. Okay. And then when I call this agent, even though they said open house only and they're listing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm still going to call them. I'm still going to make sure it's still available. You never know, they could have got an all cash offer, 20 grand over asking, and they're not going to do the weekend open houses. So always call and confirm. Again, I'm running through my same questions. Is there any special assessments upcoming that I need to be aware of? Has anything else been updated on this? Has the windows been updated? Who takes care of the lawn maintenance? What does my HOA fee cover? So I'm just asking basic questions to find out more than what anybody can see online. I'm trying to prove my value to my client and try to help them out as much as I can. So that's showing number 2. So we know this one's going to be confirmed because they're holding an open house anyways. We've called them. They said, yes, we're still holding an open house. So normally what I do on my piece of paper is I put a check mark whenever a showing has been confirmed, a big check mark. So let's say this one confirmed. Let's say this one was also confirmed. The agent's going to meet us there. Now let's go from the second house to our third house. And these two look pretty close together. Paste. Directions. 5 minutes. They're 5 minutes away. So if we're here till 1:30, it takes us 5 minutes to get the next one. That's gonna be 1:35. So I will probably request a showing. Address. Also got to write if it's vacant, occupied, open house only. This one I'm going to want to request from 1:30 until 2 p.m. So now 526 here. Let's go back here. 526. Okay, here's our next house. Another townhome. Taylor was wanting to see some townhomes, apparently. Easy to show, vacant. Combo lockbox on front door. So that means they have one of these easy ones. Combo lockbox, it's also vacant. So they're probably going to confirm it right away. Please call or text Michelle at this number or John at this number to notify us of showing. And then show anytime, combo lockbox. So again, always get a confirmation. So even this says show anytime, always get confirmation either from Michelle or John on this one that it is okay for you to show up. And also you got to call to figure out, do you have any offers on the property? And then anything I should know about in this community? What are the restrictions? I see the association fee is $232. What all does that cover? Through. Yes, this one does look vacant as well. So also, quick little note too that I'm making to myself. Let's say, for example, these homes are only 5 minutes apart. Let's say my client shows up at this one on time at noon and they breeze through it. They just didn't like it at all. It was like 10 minutes and we're out of there. And the open house doesn't start till 1. Well, we're going to be there at like 12:30 sitting in our cars. Well, if these two are right next to each other, 2 and 3, then I know that I could flip those because this one is vacant as well. So if we end this early, I could always request a longer appointment time because it's vacant, or I could just pick up the phone and call Michelle or John and say, hey, we're running a little bit early. I know it is vacant. Just want to let you know, could we show up at 12:30 to 1? And then you could flip flop these two. So that's always something I'm thinking about too, is that's why I'm writing down if they're vacant or occupied. So worst case, if we run through something too fast or something pops up, I know I can probably switch it out with a vacant if I need more time. This one was confirmed once I called Michelle and John. Let me go ahead and make these bold. That way it's a little bit easier to see these. Bold. Okay, now I'm going from there to here. Now we're going to Pinehurst. Well, Pinehurst, 8 minutes away. What was that address? 6112 Pinehurst. So again, you can see how long this is taking to set up showings. You can see why I say that having more listings is manageable than having a lot of buyers. So that's why you want to focus your business on the listings, because imagine if you have 4 or 5 buyers and you're trying to coordinate showings throughout the entire week and doing this every single time. Let's see. So this one's pending. So this one's under contract. So I imagine Taylor used this one as an example. Maybe it was active. I call the listing agent and they say, hey, Zach, actually, we just accepted an offer over asking price and we're going to go with that one. Well, I probably don't want to show that home because I'm just going to be wasting my client's time and my time. So I go ahead and let my client know, hey, that one's already under contract. And then I can still ask them if they want to go see it, but 99% of the time they're going to say no, just move to the next house. So Pinehurst off the list. So we'll go ahead and get rid of Pinehurst. 455 Red Sunset. So now we're going from that one to Red Sunset. So let's go here to here. That's 26 minutes. Okay. 455 Red Sunset Court. Pages. 4, edit, paste and match style. All right, so it's 26 minutes to next. And maybe traffic, maybe some red lights, that could very easily push us up to 28, 30 minutes. So let's see here. We're anticipating we'll be done here by 12:45. We drive over, we're at the open house on time from 1, we're there till 1:30. We drive 5 minutes to the next one, so we get there at 1:35. We walk through that one in, let's say it takes us 5 minutes to the next one, so we're done at 1:35. We're at this one, 1:35, and then we are here for 30 minutes, so we finish at 2:05, and now it's 26 minutes to the next one. So that's going to be 2:31. So I'm going to request appointment from 2:30, probably to 3:15. I'm going to do that in case any of these others ran a little bit longer or in case traffic hit us or whatever. So 2:30 to 3:15. So this one is 455 Red Sunset. 455, 455 Red. That should pop up. There we go. Okay, buyer to verify all pertinent information. Please send offers to this. Refrigerator does not convey. Over here, my notes. Even though it would be negotiable, if they've taken the time to say fridge doesn't stay, it's probably not going to stay even if you put in an offer. So I'm going to share that with my client. And let's see, this is a scheduled showing. So I can click in here. It's taking me showing time. And if you remember from last time, you just hit schedule showing and you click a box that is still available for showings. This says appointment required, wait for confirmation. So I'm guessing this one is still owner occupied. Yes, somebody's still living here. And you can tell just with the stuff, they still got a trash can. You can see all this stuff in the corner over here. So somebody's still living here. So this one, I really have to stick to my appointment time and be courteous of the homeowner's time. And then what's our last showing? 1008 Austin Court. Flop these. Austin Court. Okay, last ones are only 12 minutes apart. So let's say I called them, they haven't confirmed yet because they have to talk to the owners. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start scheduling number 5. Edit, paste and match, bold, distance, 12 minutes to next. Okay, so this one we were arriving basically at 2:30, right at like 2:35, and I was booking us until 3. But let's say we left at 3, and we go to the next one, we'll be there by 3:15. And then let's say 1008 Austin. Austin. Motivated seller, bring all offers, selling as is. Refrigerator, washer and dryer to remain. Built 99. Edit, paste and match style. Let's see if this one looks vacant or occupied. This one is probably vacant. There's no kitchen table. All their stuff's off the counter. They don't even have sheets on the bed. So this one is probably vacant. So I'm going to ask the agent as well, but worst case, if this appointment cannot do it, like the homeowners say no, if these people say no, maybe I need to schedule this a little bit early as a replacement in case number 4 cancels on us or can't do it. So let's see what they say. Schedule showing. And they use showing time as well. So you click here and you go through it. But if I call him, let's run through that situation and let's say, okay, this one, the homeowner said, hey, we can't do it. We're having son's birthday party at the house at that time. Can't do it. So we're just going to take this off the list. Move this one to 4. And then 526 OR. It's going to be different distance. Here. 8. Austin Court. It's 31 minutes. So I'm going to schedule this one from 2:30 to 3:15. Okay. And there you go. That's how you schedule homes. The only other thing that I'm doing once all my appointments are confirmed, and let's say it's a combo and it's 3111. And this one's vacant and it's Century Lock. So I'm taking notes of how I'm going to get into this house. Agent. And this one was agent as well. So these two, the agents are going to let us in. This one, I need a Century Lock. Either I need to pay for the Century Lock service or I need to get a day code. This one is a combo. So write all this down. This is definitely going to help you out. Vacant, if it's occupied, the address, the time of your appointment, write down when it's confirmed to put a little check mark, and then write how you're going to get into the home. And then I've taken notes on each home as I've called the agent and just different information I'm going to share with my buyers. Now what I'm going to do is once all my showings are confirmed, I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and I'm actually going to just send the address and the time. And I'm going to send these to my client. That way they know as well, and they're respectful of our time, is like, hey, we actually have scheduled times. We have to be on time for these. So I'm going to send them, here's house number 1, here's house number 2, address and time. Here's house number 3, address and time. And I'm going to just email it to them. That way they stay on time as well. Let's see, final notes. Like I said, send your timeline to the clients. It helps them stay on time and not waste time at a house as well. So that way they know, like if they really like one, it's okay to take a little bit extra, but they're not going to take like 2 hours because they know we have several homes to see throughout the day, and they know the timing. The other thing I would say with these homes, once they're confirmed, print off 2 copies of the MLS sheet. So just go to the MLS and just hit print. Print off 2 copies, one for yourself, one for them. Once you arrive at the first house, hand them the sheet. Give them a pen as well and say, take any notes you want. Write on the back of the page, write anything you think about this house. Also, the copy for you, you take personal notes. And like I said, take personal. Don't share them, but things you could say is, hey, I noted some staining on the roof and some of the shingles are peeling. I should ask about the roof again because they still haven't told me the age of it. So stuff like that. Take personal notes. Those you don't need to share with your client. Have them take notes that you review afterwards. And then once you've walked through that house, hand them the sheet to the next house. So that way they have the address in front of them and they know how to get there. Drive separately. I always recommend driving separately. Don't chauffeur your clients. It increases your liability if you get in an accident or anything like that. And some insurance carriers, they're going to start charging you more if you're chauffeuring clients around. When you're at the showing, quick little tips here. When you arrive at the showing, announce that you're coming in the house. So I have the key, I've unlocked the door. What I'm actually doing before that is I'm actually going to ring the doorbell, or I'm going to knock on the door. If the agent isn't meeting us there and I'm showing a stranger's house, I'm going to knock on the door or ring the doorbell first. Nobody answers, I'm going to wait 20, 30 seconds, nobody answers. I get the key from the lockbox, I open the door. And then as I'm opening the door, I'm saying, hello, it's Zach, I'm a realtor. Hello, it's Zach, I'm a realtor. I'm saying that a couple times, just because these homes some of these are vacant, and these are also strangers' homes. So you want to make sure nobody's there. Once I do that, and my clients are coming in behind me, I am walking ahead of them, and I'm going to turn on all the lights throughout the house. So I'm going to make it as appealing as possible. Or for the first one, I'm showing up a little bit early, still within my time block if it is. And then I'm turning on all lights. I'm unlocking all the doors. I'm unlocking slider doors. Sometimes those can be tricky. We want our clients to have the easiest experience possible walking through this house. So I'm turning on all those, and then I'm coming back to my clients and I'm following them. And I'm looking for their reactions as they walk through different rooms. And I'm asking discovery questions too. So ask them, ask your clients when you're walking through a house, hey, what do you like best about this house so far? Or if you could change one thing, what would that be? And just with those 2 simple questions and also watching their reactions, you can better pick out homes to schedule at a later date based on their reactions. And then the other thing during showings, avoid personal opinions. So if you say like, this is the ugliest carpet I've ever seen, they may love the carpet and they might be offended and it might turn them away from the house. So avoid personal comments, only share factual things that you know. So like I said earlier, if the roof is 20 years old and you see the shingles are peeling, maybe there's a stain in the ceiling, like a water stain, you can say, hey, this roof is probably at the end of its life. And there's 3 things we can do. We can either ask them to replace it with an offer, we can take money off the purchase price, or we can ask for concessions for a new roof. So different things like that are helpful. Let's see what else I noted. The 3 most important things with your clients, the 3 most important things they need to look for. Number 1 is location. They can't pick up the house and move it somewhere else. So the location has to be good for them. A lot of times before you start scheduling showings, you can have buyers drive the areas to make sure the areas they like. Half of the homes they pick out, they're going to cross off just from driving different neighborhoods. So location, location, location. That's number 1, the most important thing. Number 2 is layout. Make sure they like the layout. Yes, you can remove some walls. It starts to get expensive, but you can't remove all the walls, or you can't change if all the bedrooms are upstairs, moving the master downstairs, and that was a requirement of theirs. So have them make sure they really like the layout. And then 3 is upgrades. So how old is the roof? How old is the AC? Big major items. Cosmetic stuff can be changed relatively cheap, like a ceiling fan, paint in a bedroom, stuff like that. But you're going to provide a lot of value to them by saying, hey, this roof is only 5 years old. Typically through inspections and everything, roofs should last 15 to 20 years of this type. So have stuff like that on hand. If you don't know repair costs, buyers are going to ask you. So they're going to be like, oh, the ceiling fan is so ugly. Well, don't let that deter them from buying a $600,000 house. What you can do is go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, go to hardware stores, price out different things. So just go on the weekends for fun and just start pricing out stuff. See, hey, a ceiling fan's about 150 bucks. A washer and dryer usually costs about this. A fridge is a stainless steel fridge, 2 double doors, maybe about 1,500 bucks to 2 grand. So you start knowing these costs, and that way it doesn't stop them from buying a house just because they don't like a ceiling fan. And you know it's going to cost about 200 bucks to replace. The other thing you can do to start learning costs is call different vendors in the area. So call roofers. Say, hey, I'm a local real estate agent. I know a roof issue is going to pop up during my career. I'm looking to build a relationship with a good roofer. You had great reviews on Google Maps, or you came highly referred. And I just want to ask you a couple of questions. So ask them, hey, a roof on a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 2,000 square feet. Typically, what does that cost range wise? What's a ballpark? So then you start learning these ballpark numbers of what things are going to cost. And then by talking to vendors as well, you're going to learn costs. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to become more valuable with your clients. You're going to build your network. You're going to have different vendors available to you when those time comes up. If you need a roofer, now you have a good relationship. And then lastly, they might refer you clients. So you've built a good relationship with a roofer, with an AC guy, with a plumber, with an electrician. They go to a lot of homes and they might refer you business. The other way you can learn about repairs or costs is attend inspections. Attend homeowner inspections. Like when your buyer has those inspections, go to them. They're about 2 hours, 3 hours, but go to them because you're going to see everything that the inspector is looking for. You're going to see everything that he's looking for, different things he notes down. So that way you become an expert when you start walking through homes. When you're finished walking through the home, last thing, and then I'm done for the day, make sure you turn off all the lights. Turn off all the lights, lock all the doors, return the key to the lockbox. Don't leave it in your pocket. I've accidentally done that one time and had to drive all the way back to a house. I always believe the house should be in the same condition or better than when you arrived. And if anything is broken, let the agent know right away. So that way it's not on you. Like I showed a property the other day and the front door actually didn't lock. The latch was broken. So I took a picture of it. I sent it to the listing agent and I said, hey, just want to let you know when I arrived, the lock was broken. And she said, oh, thank you so much. Didn't know that. But that way she knows, and then it doesn't come back on me or my clients that were responsible for the damage. So that's how you schedule homes. I know it's a lot of information. Maybe it wasn't the most exciting as I was going through the process, but you've seen it. And now you are in this position that you can schedule showings. So hope this helped. And I will see you guys in the next video.